Alright, this is the review of the new Whitin minimalist barefoot inspired trail runner. I actually just got out of the trails right now. I'm still a little bit sweaty, but I wanted to jump on here and make this video while it's still fresh in my head so I can give you the most accurate description of what I felt in the trails while I was out there. I'm going to be talking about 4 things in this video. Comfort, grip, sizing, because I actually went through 3 different shoes. This is my 3rd pair of shoes before I finally got the sizing right. So sizing is super important with these things. And also, are they worth the money, in my opinion? So I'm going to be going over those 4 things. Comfort, grip, because when you're near the trails, like, grip to me is like super important because I love bombing down hills. Sizing, like I said, take me 3 pairs, and are they worth the money? Okay, so let's first start off about what's new. What's new about these shoes? The first thing, so here's the older version. And this is actually the wrong size, so that's why it took me a couple tries. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try the new version and see what's different about it, and maybe this is the correct size. And this actually fits me, so I'll be explaining more about the size in a little bit. But the first thing I noticed about the difference is the older version has a tongue. They still have the same pull strap with the little clamp thing that keeps them tight, and they still Velcro between the laces at the bottom, which is pretty trick. So this has a Velcro strap that goes around your ankle, which is actually really comfortable, and I'm kind of stoked that they added this too, because my heel was slipping in this, and even though I cinched up on these as tight as it would go, my heel would still slip. But the reason why I knew these were the wrong size is because I was having a lot of play in the toe box. Just I knew if I kept running, I got 4 miles in on these before I decided to turn around and say, like, no, these are wrong. But I knew if I would have kept running, I would have got a blister because my toes were slipping so much. And these, they were locked in. They were perfect. And I'm actually really stoked on them. So that plays into the whole comfort thing. So I believe the new edition is a way better model than the old. So when you're shopping, because they have multiple options, and just look for the yellow new sticker on there. So I linked to these shoes in the description below. So if you're interested in these shoes, I linked to them. It's an Amazon Associates link, so I do get a little tiny bit of money. I'll get like $2 if you decide to buy these shoes off my link. But as a thank you, I'm going to send you our half marathon training and our 50K ultra marathon training. So if you want to run an ultra marathon in these things, I'm just going to send you that training for free, just as a thank you for using that link, and whatever. So back into comfort. The reason I'm looking for a new trail shoe is because my Hoka One Evo Speed Goats finally wore out. And I was stoked on these shoes. I was really stoked. Like, I put 1,000 miles in these. I ran an ultra, a couple trail half marathons and stuff like that. And they served well. And I was completely confident in it. Like, the grip on these things is amazing. So the Hoka Speed Goats, they're an excellent shoe. And these have a drop of 4, and that was the main reason why I wanted to change and get into the minimalist style barefoot shoes. I don't know, barefoot inspired. I'm glad they call it barefoot inspired because you're still wearing a shoe. So I don't know why they call barefoot shoes when you're still wearing shoes. I don't know. But these do have a little bit of cushion inside, which is nice, because if you know anything about the Hokas, if you've ever ran in Hokas, they are like a cushion machine. But what I noticed is, like, once I get around 15-20 miles, my hips really started to hurt. And so especially on the road, if I'm running 15 miles in my road shoes, I'm beat. My hips just tear me up. And so the more research I did, and I actually read that book Born to Run by Chris McDonald, like, excellent book. Like, if you want to learn about barefoot running and like how it started, like, check that book out. But that's what inspired me to start doing some research. So I looked at the zeros, and I looked at those weird 5-finger things, and then I stumbled across these on Amazon. I was like, wow, if I can get a pair of barefoot shoes that work, because they had tons of super positive reviews, for like $40. I was like, man, even if they don't work, it's only $40. Like, what the heck, right? And so I'm checking them out because I want the zero drop. Because what I learned through reading that book, and in the trails, I noticed my stride's a lot different than running on the road. Duh, because the terrain varies so much, and it's just a lot quicker, shorter stride. That's why I feel like I can run a lot further in the trails than I can on the road. And so I went, hey, let's try a zero drop shoe and see how it goes. And because this does have the padding, it wasn't like a huge transition into like a true like barefoot shoe. So that's why I picked these shoes out. Okay. So what did I notice on the trail? The first thing I wanted to try is because the trails are, I'm blessed by having trails super close to my house and I can trail run every day. But it's a lot of hard packed clay, and especially this time of year after it starts to rain, the gravel starts to come up, and it ranges between like pebble sized, marble sized gravel to like golf ball sized gravel that you got to negotiate on this hard packed clay. So I was afraid that I'd be running through this through the gravel and be bruising my feet. There was one rock that I found that I think no matter what shoe I was wearing, probably I could have felt, but I did feel a little bit more in these shoes. But that was one rock, and the loop that I did today was just over 3 miles, and let me check real quick, and 686 feet of elevation. So I did get some uphills, downhills, I got some flat, fire roads, gravel, a big mix, which you'll be seeing as you're watching through this right now. And then I wanted to actually give a review, because the reason I wanted to give this review is because the reviews I looked for on YouTube already, it's just like guys just talking about the shoes and like running around their driveway. Like, it's not a real good depiction of an actual trail run. So I wanted to go on the trails, try these shoes out, and give you an accurate description of what I felt. So the gravel, I can deal with it. And I know over time as my feet get stronger, I really won't even notice it. But I was pleasantly surprised about how it didn't hurt. It didn't hurt. I could feel the rocks, but it didn't hurt. That's the best way I can describe it. And then I was also, I love running downhills. You know, I just love bombing the downhills. That's one of the things that just draws me to trail running, especially for recreational. Not even when I'm training, I just love running out the trails and going as fast as I can down these trails. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to be jamming my toes into the toe box. When I was running in these, because they were too big, it hurt, and I was like, bummer, like I don't know. But these felt super solid, and I actually went down a trail that I ended with that I wasn't going to run, just in case, you know, because I wasn't confident in the shoes. It was the first time I wore them. But after all, you know, super comfortable. I give them, right now, because my feet are still getting used to the minimal padding, I'll give them a 7 out of 10 for comfort. So yeah, so that's comfort. Wanted to be confident in multiple terrain. I didn't get into any like real slippery rocks, but slippery rocks are a struggle for any trail shoe, and no mud. There was no mud out there. So that's the two things that I didn't get into today. Okay, so now let's check out the grip. Alright, so now as for grip, let's compare them to the Hokas. Okay, as you can see, the Hokas are a lot more aggressive. So that was a major concern when I first got these, and you can see that they look kind of flat compared to the Hokas. Like, and with these, the Speed Goats, I was completely confident. I knew any trail, especially around where I live, it's a lot of hard packed clay, and it gets like slippery dust on top, that I knew that the lugs on the Hokas, on the Speed Goats, just bite through everything, and I very rarely slip. Like, it has to be a lot of loose dirt or sand on top of the hard packed clay. And then mud's mud. Like, everybody runs in mud and your shoes clog. I haven't found a pair of shoes where mud doesn't clog in them, but that's what I was concerned about in these, because it looks like it's a little bit flatter, not as aggressive, but I was really pleasantly surprised. And there's, in fact, this one uphill that I was expecting to slip on, and I didn't. So, I mean, grip, right, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10 also. So, I want to get some more miles in this and test it some more, but right now I'm really pleasantly surprised and confident in these, to where I feel like I can run up or down any hill and switchbacks with speed. So, grip, 7 out of 10. Alright, now how do you pick the right size? If you're on the Amazon website and you're going through the comments or the Q&A, there's a lot of back and forth about sizing. And I think a lot of those comments were when the Whitins first came out, like almost like they didn't have half sizes, but they do have half sizes now, because one of the recommendations in the Q&A that kind of led me astray was, if you're in between sizes, go down half a size. I wear a 9.5 in Vans. Vans slip-ons, I wear a 9.5. So if that helps anybody out there, if you wear Vans and you wear a 9.5, I'm going to say that these things are true to size. So I first bought a 9. As soon as I got it on at home, didn't even wear it out of my house, I slipped it on and I knew immediately that these are going to be way too tight. They were uncomfortable just wearing around the house. So, and for socks, I'm wearing the Injinji toe socks. Okay, so that's what I'm wearing for socks, just so you know. I'm not a super thick sock either. So then I was like, okay, well, these are so tight. I was like, man. And then bonehead me, instead of thinking like, okay, just go up half a size and try it, I went up a full size. So these are a 10, and that's why they felt like clown shoes when I was running downhill. I was slapping and stomping, and just, they were not fun to run in. And then these came, the new Whitin Trail Runner Minimalist Barefoot-inspired shoes, and I am stoked on them. They're a 9.5. I wear a 9.5, and they fit perfect. So if that helps anybody, like I said, I put a link in the description below so you can go get yours right now. And then if you like the Injinji socks, like they're awesome. They're awesome. So, and then another thing I just noticed about these, just handling them, is the outside is like this nylon rubber, super flexible, where these don't have it. So maybe they're having some problems with the laces tearing out too, because I really had to cinch these down. These I didn't have to cinch down so much because they got the Velcro strap. So maybe just then definitely buy the new ones. Okay, so now overall, are they worth the money? I paid $41. So I don't know when you see this if they went up or down, but at the time of filming this in November 2022, I paid 41 bucks, and I suggest it to everybody. So, links in the description. Thanks for watching, and I will send you that free half marathon training, 50K ultra marathon training, just for saying thank you for clicking on the link and checking them out. So just for saying maybe for buying these if you just want to look at them. Thanks for watching again. Make sure you subscribe, like, turn on notifications and all that stuff, and I'll see you in the next review.